like to state over here that Visakhapatnam has been one of the first cities that we've expressed our interest to fly into with the government of India. We have not yet in Visakhapatnam. We would also be starting Goa with charter flights from September of this year. That's next month. The case of Visakhapatnam. For us, firstly, we have a lot of pressure from the expatriate Andhra community, people from now the divided state of Andhra, now Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the non-resident Indians who originate from here, putting a lot of pressure on us to operate into the state. Visakhapatnam in particular, it serves a lot of the neighboring districts. Yeah? And there is also a state with very high foreign inward remittances. Visakhapatnam is also likely to be one of the key cities now in the new state of in the divided Andhra Pradesh. It also remains seriously challenged by lack of international air services for passengers and cargo. That in turn causing the fares to be very high, and of course lengthy travel times, as a lot of the delegates here mentioned, due to transit in Hyderabad mainly or out of Mumbai. It's also a gateway for southern Odisha. One of the reasons is contributing to the higher cost of Visakhapatnam is because Hyderabad is also a pretty high cost airport. So airlines operating out of there would tend to have higher fares. When you add on the Visakhapatnam component, Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam component to it, obviously the fares go even higher. And today, I believe, after I see this airport, I saw this airport 3 years ago and I could not believe it. That here was an airport, fantastic, all done up. But unfortunately, as I said, all the rest have nowhere to go because the international services have not been permitted to come in here as much as airlines would have desired if you have. Where does Fly Dubai add value to all this? As a hybrid airline, now as a hybrid airline I say because when Fly Dubai started off, we were a pure LCC, a low-cost airline. But somewhere along the way, as part of our developing philosophy, in October last year, we introduced a business class, and it's a full-fledged business class. So today we have 12 business class seats. Yeah, it's in line with any of the top airlines that fly on this route. And of course, we'll be offering very competitive fares for the price-sensitive traffic as well. That's in the back of the bus. So the economy class continues to run on the LCC principle, and we have a business class that offers you a complete full service. Not only for cargo, but even for passengers, just become the world's busiest international airport, having taken over that mantle from Heathrow. So a connection out of Dubai is actually the best thing that people from here can hope to get. It will also bring in much needed foreign exchange earnings through development of tourism further in the state. We all talk about the tourist potential of Andhra Pradesh for a whole for various different traffic segments, for Buddhist traffic, for everything. But how can all this develop if there is not sufficient air connectivity, and particularly international air connectivity? Further, it will also greatly enhance revenues for the Airports Authority of India by developing ancillary businesses like retail, concessions, vehicle parking, etc. More employment opportunities for the local population, and of course to promote industries like entertainment, hospitality, healthcare, surface travel. Having said that, the aviation industry has a multiplier effect on the economic development of the entire region. For airports like Visakhapatnam, when an airport is developed in this area, both directly as well as indirectly, related industries are benefited by way of speedy movement of goods and passengers. The population, industry and infrastructure invariably converge towards the airport, resulting in increased business and tourism activities. These socio-economic activities, along with the job creation, result into increased consumer spending, thereby positively impacting the profits of the company producing the goods and services. The strategic airport infrastructure development and globally competitive tariff regime combined with incentives to airlines and maintenance repair overall companies can result in the development of aviation hubs similar to what you have in Dubai and in Singapore. And when that happens, the enormous domestic and international traffic flying through the hub creates a massive positive ripple effect on the economy of the entire region. It's all very good for us to give lip service to what can be done here. We have to also understand the kind of untapped potential that India is sitting on in terms of aviation. It's simply massive. There are a few statistics which would just numb the mind if you think about it. If we look at the population of the United States, you have a population of 300 million people. To serve that 300 million people, you have a little over 14,000 airports, and you have more than 10,000 fixed-wing commercial aircraft. Such is the spread of aviation in the US that over 50% of global air traffic is simply US domestic, meaning just US domestic comprises more than 50% of global air traffic. Now if I compare this to India, here we are with a population of about 1.25 billion, of which a study concluded that roughly 280 million people comprise middle class and above, which means they can afford to buy an air ticket once a year to travel in leisure. Now, that segment of the population is 280 million, which is very close to the population, the entire population of the US, which includes the poorest of the poor and of course the richest. And a very interesting statistic is that 1/3 of the US population does not have passports. So, to serve this 280 to 300 million, what do we have? We have 454 airports in India, of which only 85 to 90 airports are operational. Of this 85 to 90 operational airports, traffic is concentrated at the top 7 airports. 75% of the traffic is from the top 7 airports. So, what are we sitting on? And how many fixed-wing commercial aircraft do we have? We have a little over nearly 450 aircraft. Airports like Visakhapatnam, I mean, this concept of metropolitan cities is slowly getting over. Today, wealth, travel, growth, development is all happening in cities which, as they call secondary, which I don't believe are secondary, but which are going to be the drivers of India's development, are cities like Visakhapatnam. This is where we are so convinced is the future of Indian aviation lies, whether it's for international traffic or whether it's for domestic traffic. Looking forward from here, we are very hopeful that the government of India, when we approach them all this while, everything seems to be viewed through the prism of bilaterals, and the government has said that if the bilaterals permit it, then of course you're welcome to fly there. If the bilaterals don't permit it, it doesn't happen. But then I would like to make an appeal to the dignitaries here, to all of you here who will be able to influence this decision, that this very same government, this NDA government, which were then in power in 2003, had come out with a very good policy. And it's a policy which a lot of airlines like AirAsia have taken advantage of. They declared 18 airports in India as open skies for ASEAN. The ASEAN countries being your Thailand, your Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, etc. So there are 18 airports, of which Visakhapatnam is one, which were declared as open sky for ASEAN carriers. Now my question is, with all due respect to ASEAN countries, but mainly people traveling to ASEAN are those who are going for business or leisure. But those going to the Middle East, especially from southern Indian states, are those who are going for their stomachs. They go there to earn money, earn their bread. So if there's an economic downturn, traffic may dry up to ASEAN, but traffic would never dry up to the Gulf and Middle East, because people are going there for employment. Why not make it easier for them? Why not simplify life for them and say that Visakhapatnam would be brought outside the scope of the bilaterals and be added onto the open sky list for not only carriers from ASEAN, but carriers from the Middle East, or whoever wishes to come. Maybe US carriers coming, maybe European carriers coming.